everyone, it's Sue. Just thought I'd turn the camera on. I thought I'd have a little bit of a play with some cardboard boxes. I'm on a little bit of a grunge kick at the moment. I'm working on a grunge journal, which I hopefully will share with you in some future videos. But I wanted to, just play with some of this fluted card. This is just off a box of supplies that I have put in my shop. Sorry, my words won't come out. So I was going to actually recycle this and send it into the recycling bin, but I just thought I'd just take some of the flaps off and have a bit of a play and maybe make an envelope or a pocket or something, a couple of pockets for this grunge journal that I'm working on. So I'm just tearing off this layer that has all the sticky tape on, and I'm happy for that to stay like that. So I think I'm going to use this as the inside. I'm just not sure how stiff it's going to be. So I'm going to take one layer off the flap at least anyway, and I'm just really randomly just tearing this off. I just have something in my head, but whether it actually translates to finished item is another story. Okay. So it's easier to get from the edge, obviously, and tear that way. I'm loving the freedom of the grunge style. So you may have seen, I don't know whether you saw my live recently where I made some grungy style tags using some of my printables that I've got in the shop. But I had so much fun. Just so freeing. So I'm just going to leave that like that at the moment, and it's still quite stiff, so I might even tear the layer off the back here. I just don't know whether it's going to make it really too fragile to use, but we'll see. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, okay, so I think I'm just trying to find if I can take just a little bit of it off. So you can see it's got about 3 layers on there. I don't want to take it all off because just the fluted board is going to be too flimsy, I think, for a pocket. Need to get something underneath that. So basically I'm just trying to take a bit of the thickness away, so that makes it easier to fold. So this will be on the inside. So how have you all been anyway? Hope you're all keeping well. I'm managing to get a little bit of creative time in. I'd lost my mojo a little bit, and I took myself away for a few days to a friend's place at the Sunshine Coast, and I'm all inspired, which is good. that's probably enough anyway. So, okay, so I'll just get rid of, I mean, these bits we could probably use as well. I'll just pop them to the side for now. Okay, so I'm thinking, just that's a straight edge. Just trying to find a blade. I can't find my good blade. I've got this scabby old Stanley knife here. And I'm just going to, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to make it about 4 inches wide. I'm just going to cut this. You could use scissors as well. Which I think I will. Okay, so I'm just going to try and measure a straight line just for me to be guided by. And if it's not perfectly straight, it doesn't matter. It's grunge, isn't it? So it had cut through for the most part there. Okay, so I'm thinking I want to do this sort of pocket, so it's going to be quite bulky. It'll be quite bulky, but I think it's okay. I just want that smooth edge on the inside so that nothing gets caught on the fluted part. I'm just going to just sort of press that down a bit. Maybe we can go that way. So essentially that's what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of ink. You could add paint. So I'm just going to sort of well, grunge it up for want of a better term. Just make it look messy. So it would have been nice to have a bit more of that on the front, wouldn't it? So maybe if I fold it this way. Maybe if we fold it this way and then have the flap. Okay, that's what I'm going to do that way. So this is going to be the front. Now, look at my foam applicators just all falling to bits. So I'm not doing, there's no rhyme nor reason to this. I'm just making it look messy. Probably even could even grab your, yeah, look at that, your ink pad and just rub it over the top. I like that better actually. Okay. So let me just get rid of this foam. I think I'll have to start wearing an apron because some of my blouses, my shirts and that, I'm like, what is that all over the front of it? And it's from the foam. I sort of like flick it off the desk and then it sits on my shirt and stains my shirt. So I'll have to start wearing an apron, I think. Okay. So there we go. It's a little grungy pocket. I'm going to add some bits and pieces to decorate that. What am I going to add? I don't know. So I do have some printables in my store. I might even use some bits and pieces of that. I've got some bits and pieces here that I used in the live the other night. This is just some watercolor paper that I've inked up and added water to, and so we might use that. This is off part of a printable. So I have, I'll put the link down below for the printables that I've got in my shop. So I've got like some mixed grunge printables. I'm thinking I want like a darker, see that's really nice. Actually I don't mind that. So this one is out of my mixed grunge 2 set. I might use that. I love that page. I might utilize that one. So I'm just going to tear some of that. I think I'm going to add a little bit of ink onto that as well. So I'm just going to use some of my walnut stain. I've just got a glass mat here to the side of me. So I'm just going to pop that on, some of that on there, and add some water. So I'll bring it over actually. I mean, you've probably all seen it before, but just bring it in into the frame and show you what I'm doing. Normally I would do it over here, but because it was to the side of me, so I just do that. You need to find a paintbrush. So I just want to flick some, just add another layer to this printable. So these I've just printed on 176 GSM cardstock. Now this is not overly dark. So if I tap the paintbrush, might be a bit quicker. And I'm going to get, I've got some sepia Indian ink. So I'm going to grab some of that as well. Sepia, it's Artist's ink. So Art Spectrum brand. I've had this for a while. So I'm just going to add a dab of that. I don't want too much. And then also add a little bit of water. And then I'm just going to flick that. That's better. So it just adds a little bit of depth to that printable there. Just going to go just randomly. That's the beauty of printables, isn't it? You can, you know, print them out over and over and over again. Okay, now I'm just going to set that aside to dry for a second, and because I don't really have I don't have a glass of water, but I'm just going to spray my brush and wipe it off with a wipe. But I'm not going to waste this ink, so I'm going to, I've got some I call these ruffled tidbits. So I've got lots of different types in my shop, but I've done up some white sets so that you can dye them yourself any color that you want. So, I mean, this is really dark, but I'm just going to wipe up all that ink so that it's not wasted. And then I will add other colors to that as I mop up. So if you're interested in those, they are in my shop, and I'll endeavour to remember to put the link down below. So great way to just make your own ruffles to match your project. So I'm just going to pop the glass mat to the side there. Now I've folded that up, but I just want a little bit more room from where that folds down so that you can get in and out of that. So I think I'm going to sew around this. Now this is probably going to be a little bit rough on my sewing machine, and it's not my good quilting machine, so don't stress too much. But I'm just going to bring the machine over, and I'm going to have a play and just see if it's not too thick to sew on. So I'll just go and do that. Okay, so it sewed quite easily. You just needed to feed it through and take your time with it. So so I've just used like my standard dark brown ink that dark brown thread that I use, and I've just sewn around that. So we have the start of a pocket there. Okay. So what I want to do is I just want to make some sort of decoration here so that can pop underneath, the flap can pop underneath there. I'm going to, it should be dry now. So I'm going to use some of this, and I'm going to build on that. So let me just have a look here. Maybe if I tear down about this way. That. So try and get some of that colour in. I'm just going to ink around this. So basically I'm just going to make I guess, sort of like a cluster to add to the front of that to act as a closure. Just looking, I did have some cheesecloth. Put it away. So I'm just going to cut it on the selvage edge, and I'm going to just cut it really roughly. And see, I had these off the edge of a, probably a little bit light. off the edge of a torn piece, and this is some out of a notebook is what I'm trying to say. And I've got some of this one here. I'm just thinking maybe I can add. Okay, so I'm going to, so I don't want that. I'm going to add this so it's hanging over the edge a bit. Okay. Now I'm not, grunge isn't my style, so I'm just having a play. I'm just having fun playing. And I've been heavily inspired by a lady by the name of Lynn Moncrief recently. I sort of just was having a look through Pinterest, and everything that I liked happened to be mainly her work. It's absolutely amazing. So I will try and remember as well to add the link down below for her Instagram account. Okay, so I'm just going to stitch, really roughly stitch this cheesecloth onto here as well. So I've just bunched that up as I've sewn it. I'll leave some threads hanging. That is going to act as the closure for the flap. We need to take that up a little bit further. And this edge is just too straight for my liking. So I'm going to tear that off. And the same with this one, if I can tear a little bit of it. Ink that again. So that's much better. So I'm just going to glue that down, I think. Although I'm thinking I might add maybe sorry, I'm just trying to think. Okay, I'm just going to grab some buttons, I think. Want it a bit darker, I think, so they're all a little bit too stark. Let's see what we've got in here. Add, as I'm looking at this, I'm just wanting to add a little bit, make that a little bit darker. Fold some of them down so you can see a bit more of that colour in the printable. So I'm going to add a bit of glue to the back of that stitching area there. So that's where I'm going to glue it from there down. So I'll have to add a fairly decent amount of glue for that to stick. So I'm going to press that down. while I'm holding that, I'll just have a look at a couple of buttons. Ooh, I like that one. I don't think I'm going to look any further. I think I'm just going to use that one. So that should be stuck. I'm just wondering whether to add a little bit of, got some twine on my desk here. If I can get it through the hole. Let's have a look. It's not going to fit through there, is it? I'll have to split the... Oh, it is. There we go. Oh, no, it hasn't taken all of it. That's okay. So it's taken away one piece. So it's like 3 bits twisted together. So hopefully I'll be able to get both of these through this one. Okay. It's got way too much, but that's okay. We can trim that off. So I'm just going to tie that off. Like that. I'm just wondering whether to utilize these little bits as well. Okay, so that's the closure. Am I trying too hard? I'm going to glue them in. I like those. Just going to put a little bit of glue here. And stick them into that. And then glue underneath the button. Just glue that all together. I mean, you can't see a lot of it, but it's just adding another little bit of texture there. I'm just going to fold these down here as well because they're just too straight for my liking. And there you have a cute little grungy. It's probably not overly grungy for a lot of people, but for me it is grungy, and that's just using the flaps off a cardboard box. So much fun. So you can make some tags and what have you and pop them in there. So this is obviously just fairly lightweight card, so I would back that and that would go through, actually sit in there a lot easier. Do is just get your bone folder in there and manipulate it a bit just so that it sort of opens up the pocket a bit. So I'm just putting that in there and just twisting it. That fits in there a lot better. And then that's your closure. I don't know. What do you think? I really love that. I think that's so much fun. And that's the back. You could decorate the back as well if you want to. I'll be putting this in the journal, just clipping it in probably. I'm just making some bits and pieces with this journal in mind, and hopefully I'll be able to share that with you soon. So yeah, that's it, guys. I just wanted to turn the camera on while I had a little bit of a play, and let me know what you think. I had so much fun, so I'm going to head off and finish up the other flap and make another one. All right, I'm going to leave it with you, and until next time, I hope you get a little bit of crafting time in. Take care. Bye-bye.